Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up.
Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that builds Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants are getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablias asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it. Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing. Mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. A German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man, too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor, but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob Dyslexic, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible and converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching, quote, I was a follower of the sword, now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond companies. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Virginia's George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think the kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether it's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. along that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Yeah! Or should I say, oh yeah! Coming at you like Kool-Aid, baby. My name is Marty Olson. It's Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. It's, Tuesday, the 17th of February, 2026. And I opened up the internet today, and my God, was Gavin Newsom getting dragged all over the place. I'll give you details later, but it's hilarious. It's just hilarious. Ooh, whenever he opens his mouth. If you know that song, you know it's not hilarious. But anyway, happy Tuesday. Let's just go. Let's just go. I don't want to tell any stories or anything. Let's just get it going. But this shit's hilarious. It's hilarious. We'll get to it, I promise. First in the chat today, Ty Alexander against the bell. Yeah! Congratulations. Alexander the Scourge. Oh, he dug up his old, isn't that the old Abbey name, whatever? I thought it was, what was it? Oh, well, anyway, it's Pope Tyrannus III, Blessed Lich, or the Scourge, or whatever. Also, good morning, Kara Soldier, Green Badger Outdoors, Mike Savage, Blarg, Avocados Diablos in the house. Also, today's message of hope from Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich, not from the Father, not from the Son, but from the Holy Ghost. Today's message of hope is blessing of the Holy Ghost. Yesterday, I had you pay a compliment. Today, I want you to do the same. Why? Consistency builds relationships and friendships. Remember, no backhanded compliments. Be kind. Well, Pope Tyrannus, I'll give you a compliment right now. That was a lovely message, and that's not a backhanded compliment. I really, truly mean that from the deepest inner workings of my soul, that is a lovely, lovely, it's a lovely thing to do. In fact, so Lady Boomer, let me give you a little anecdote. Lady Boomer loves doing that just to make people feel good. There's this like greeter at Sam's Club. She's an older lady, and you can tell she's just a little bit off or whatever. And my wife just one day said, "Hey, I like your hair looks great today. You look good today." And the lady just was so smiling and beaming, happy because, and I'm sure people just walk by her going, whatever. And my wife, and stops and talks to her and says nice things to her, and it makes the lady feel good. And if you can make somebody's day with such little effort, it's always worth it. So I do like that message, Tyre. I'm not kidding. Okay. Also, good morning. Maddie's in the house, and Louis here. Good morning. And Chicago Mike's here. What up, Chicago Mike? It's always a pleasure. Liberty Vet here. Good morning. Attack Alpaca, Blue Eyed Scream, and Miss Wild Wolf is here. Good morning. And so I scrolled down. Tall Person, what's up? And Unholy Queen, a.k.a. our young friend Midnight. I'm not sure who Unholy Blue is. Is that the Wild Wolf family? Is that a Wild Wolf family person? I'm not sure. My friend from down under, Rockhopper's here. What up, Rockhopper? Nice to see you, man. When you can get here, it's awesome. I know it's really early in the morning for you for this shit. Well, I know it's like bar time. It's like getting home for the bar time for you, isn't it? Something like that. Anyway, good evening for anyone besides me that is in the Southern Hemisphere. Sure. Also, anybody else here? I'm just trying to get here. I think I got about everybody. That's Midnight's boyfriend. Oh, Oh, Midnight's got a boyfriend. Midnight's got a boyfriend. Midnight's got a boyfriend. Oh, okay, that's enough of that shit. 11:28 p.m. Tuesday. Yes. Okay, so there you go. Stop what? It's funny. Anyway. I'm sorry. No, it's all good. Nothing wrong with having a boyfriend. Damn. I'm happy that you have a boyfriend. It's the way it should be. All right. So anyway, let's see here. Let's get into some news. Well, not news. Let's get the stuff that's happening. I swear to God, this Gavin Newsom thing's hilarious. But let's say hi to people, or thanks to people sharing the show. I'm going to scroll that down here real quick. I'm sure somewhere here. There we go. Start with Somnambule Nation. Thank you for sharing the show. If you haven't shared the show, click that link at the top of the chat and reply to my announcement with a "Let's go." And a GIF or a meme was great. Speaking of which, here's a meme for you. Let's go. Sometimes I read a text and think, what a psycho. Then I press send. That's funny. Yeah, every once in a while, if I could only tell you, and I'm not talking about text, I'm talking about post on X, how many times I will write out a damn post, I'll take 5-6 minutes to write it, I'm like, I can't send that shit. I can't send that. It just makes me look like a psycho. So I don't always hit send. Anyway, thank you, Tall Person, for sharing the show, as often you do. And Miss Wild Wolf, thank you very much for posting that. And Miss Wild Wolf, the mean, not sure. Oh, not sure if dyslexic or just losing mind. Yes. We'll get to the dyslexic thing, why I named the stream the way it is. Resolute Germ, thank you. Little reply to the good morning, let's go. And also Green Badger Outdoors with some military equipment. Oh, fire and missiles. Damn, I wasn't expecting that. Quite a missile battery there on that bad boy. Mike Savage, just repeating what I did. Simon Wilkins, looks like we're showing pictures of drainage and water. There we go. There you go. All right, it's a beautiful scenery there. It says historically dyslexic, super fake outrage, just doing some random trail pictures this time. Oh, okay. I love trail pictures. We go walking places with trails and stuff. We tend to do that too. We take pictures of everything and then not really know what we're going to do it later. Hello, Zed the Snarky. What's that? What did I tune into? I don't know, because I don't know where you are in the show. Are you the at the Midnight's got a boyfriend. Midnight's got a boyfriend. Midnight's got a boyfriend. Was that what it was? I don't know. I'm sort of sorry, Midnight, but it's funny as hell. Anyway, all right. Thanks everyone for sharing the show. Got to. Okay. All right, let's get into the stuff. Oh, I didn't do a holiday calendar. Hang on. Jeez, I always forget. I don't know why I always forget that. Maybe because I'm almost tired of the shtick. Maybe. But let's get into the today's. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on today, holiday-wise, of sorts. First of all, it is the Lunar New Year. Now, my concern, I haven't scrolled on this particular topic yet. And when you think of Lunar New Year, what's the first thing you think of? No, not the Chinese New Year's or any of these other Korean or whatever New Year's. First thing I think of with the Lunar New Year is the moon. And my concern is if I scroll very far on this, I might see some mooning. I don't know. But anyway, here it is. Happy Lunar New Year to all those celebrating in Taiwan around the world. With this year's spring couplet, I am wishing extra good fortune for the year of the horse. Oh, it's the year of the horse as opposed to the whores. Could you imagine? It's the year of the whores. No, it's the year of the horse. Horse, like a four-legged creature that goes. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, oh, see, now, look, At least she has clothes. Why do you feel like you need to show your bits on the New Year's? Hello, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, is it there's no year of the Ice Shack hooker? So now I'm not scrolling any farther until I take this off the screen just so I figure it out. Because this is YouTube. I've got one content strike because of some Olympic shit. And then I got another video, and because I disputed it, so I'm gonna force them to take me to court. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. But I got it, and then I got another video the video got demonetized and blocked in some territories because it had that curling stuff that I was reporting on. Now I'm clearly doing a news and commentary show, doing new commentary on what the shit's going on in the behind me on the screen, and it's random video on X, and I get that shit. So I was kind of pissed. All right, I'm gonna scroll. Okay, it's safe. Is this okay? I'm just gonna scroll a little while. Okay, it's just a lot of Asian chicks showing their in nicely clothed Asian. Oh my God, no, wait a minute. I got it. Hold on. Yeah, okay, we're not gonna show that one for sure. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, and how far can I scroll down? Okay, for the most part, you can scroll down. Oh, this dude, I don't need to see his muscular buttocks. I don't need to see it. Anyway, happy Lunar New Year as I'm scrolling down. See, she's clothed and she's just, trying to be cute and shit. And this this dummy, for some reason, his truck is on the ice and the ice melted and his truck is going to be gone soon unless they can get a tow out there. But I wouldn't take a tow truck out on that shit either. And then there's the year of the horse, and not whores as Ice Shack hookers. And then, yeah, the one I'm not even going to take a chance because that one there was some action going on that we don't need to put on YouTube. Okay, I've got over 20 violations on YouTube in less than 1 year. Well, see, I try to avoid them. Well, violations are kind of different. I fight every, anytime I get a content thing where they block the video, I dispute all of them. However, this last one, I'm not going to dispute until the 10 days up on the first one, because unless NBC Universal sues me, they have to remove the strike and restore the video, because they took a video down on this one because and what happens, you do the appeal, and there's no one who looks at that appeal. I did the appeal at 3 in the afternoon, and at 4 in the afternoon, I got a strike and they took the video down, which means nobody actually saw it. They just have a standing order to take everything down anytime someone appeals. However, if you do the full-on appeal, they have 10 days to actually take you to court, and they never do. And if they do, I'm going to crowdfund the greatest defense in history. Because I'm sick of the bullshit that they pull on YouTube. And so are most of the people who are on YouTube. So there you go. All right, moving on. Other things going on today. It is, well, lordy, it's Fat Tuesday. And I don't know why Matthew Jones is using, that's not his video. Anyway, Fat Tuesday, I may put down a baker's dozen of paskis myself. I'm not sure what paskis are. I know what, if in New Orleans, I could eat some. What are those things? What's the beignets? I could put down a whole dozen beignets. Every day is Fat Tuesday for you. And paskis, they're jelly-filled donuts. Oh yeah, no, I know what those are. There's a is it Kramershek's? Is a bakery that has them. That's right. Those, yeah. In fact, I think we even made those ones. Sometimes they're filled. Sometimes they're open, though. Sometimes the jelly's on top. Sometimes they're filled. That's what I know. And now I do know what those are. That's why I moved to Rumble. My Never Watch Alone kept getting content for things that was legitimately already on YouTube. Yeah, I know. It's so weird, their system. It's all done by AI and it's all bullshit. But I fight it every time. I'm daring them to actually take my channel down again, because the one time they took my channel down for something that wasn't even on my channel. I was like, what? You took it down for what? And they said, well, you had some nudity and sexual content. And I didn't have no nudity, and not even accidental nudity on that video. It was a specific video. They said, I'm like, show me where it is in this video. And it took a week to get that put back up, and there was none in it. And they were just full of shit. Anyway, it's Fat Tuesday. If you go to New Orleans, oh, look at that shit. Look at that. Because the reason it's Fat Tuesday, because Lent starts tomorrow, right? With Ash Wednesday. Is that right? I forget my calendar. Hello, Woodcutter. And Lent is also trending. Let's see. As is the case every year this time, X is blowing up with folks shouting, Lent is not biblical. Just flip to my Bible to confirm. Yep, prayer, fasting, and alms given are mentioned once or twice. This last thing for Lent is mercy. Soon, Alleluia falls silent. Soon the fast begins. Soon we remember what our sins cost. Go to Mass, kneel, prepare your soul for work of repentance. So anyway, if you are a Christian or Catholic or anything in between, it's also Lent. Other holidays going on right now include Random Act of Kindness Day. Hey, that's kind of like what Tyre was saying to do. Give someone a compliment, just a random compliment, and you make their day. Also, it's Ramadan. I thought I had Ramadan in this list already. Oh, here it is. Ramadan Mubarak for all my Muslim friends. By the way, that's the greeting for Ramadan. Anyway, Ramadan begins. Champion Crab Races Day. Whoa, where is that? Is that like something they do in Maryland or some shit? National Cafe au Lait Day. That's got to be like some French shit. Chinese New Year's, Korean New Year. It's all the New Year's for the Asians that do the Lunar New Year calendar thing. Mardi Gras. Woo, let's go. Mardi Gras, Carnival, all that shit's going on this week. You can go to Brazil or New Orleans or the Dominican or any place that does that big Mardi Gras thing. Fastnacht Day, which is also known, well, hear it again. Join the parade on Fastnacht and indulge in the tradition of delicious donuts. A feast before the fast. Let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. It will turn you around. It's also Kosovo Independence Day. Who Shall I Be Day. Who shall I be now? World Human Spirit Day. My Way Day. I did it my way. Everything has a song. My gosh. National Public Science Day. Paxi Day, the same donuts they have here, they have down here. Brazilian Carnival, Analog to Digital TV Day. Is that because that's when they did that analog to digital thing? How many of you all, just say in the chat, do you have a digital antenna for your TV besides whatever other form you use, besides internet or cable or whatever? Do you have just a plain old digital antenna? Because I have one. Oh yeah, she blinded me with science. She blinded me with science. Anyway, what is this? Do you have I have just a digital antenna so that I can get just all the local channels without having to pay an extra from YouTube or whatever to get local channels. And it works great. It works fantastic. You can't get any channels with an antenna where I live anyways. Not even a digital one, huh? Because a regular antenna will not work. A regular antenna will not work, but you have to get a digital antenna. And like all the networks and all the TV stations have like 5 and 6, 7 channels. So there's like 4-1 through 4-8, 5-1. I mean, I was surprised how much shit you could get on there. And in fact, they have one channel like, well, anyway, it's interesting. I bought it and I was like, oh, because I just wanted to watch football once in a while. And so I got that digital antenna. I'm like, oh, there's a whole lot of other crap on here. Anyway, National Tennis Pro Day, don't care. National Cabbage Day. Don't eat too much cooked cabbage, man. Your farts smell like hell. And Libyan Revolution Day. There you go. Those are the holidays today, which I took way too long on. All right. But it's amazing how many more holidays there are early in the year than there are late in the year. You know what I'm saying? Chicago Mike, thank you. Dropping a 5 spot in the tip jar from YouTube Super Chats and asking me, missing rabbit ears. Not at all. But I remember the old rabbit ears. We had, I'm trying to remember if we ever had we had a couple black and white TVs, like the extra TVs, but our main TV in the living room or family room, whatever, was color TV. My parents were early adopters on that, but we still had 2 black and white TVs in the house in other places. But anyway, no, I don't miss the rabbit ears. They sucked if you couldn't get them right. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're too young to know anyway. Thank you, Chicago Mike. Greatly appreciated. All right. So enough of the holidays. So someone mentioned it in the chat already. Yes, the Reverend Jesse Jackson has passed away. And I personally have mixed feelings because part of his career seemed like it was just a complete grift. But in some ways, in the early 70s, he had a great impact on the black community after the passing of Martin Luther King. And, when he was doing Operation Push and doing the I Am Somebody and the Keep Hope Alive era of Jackson, I wasn't so impressed with. But the I Am Somebody, there's a lot of young black kids at the time who were just like, felt they were invisible, and just being able to say that I am somebody, I am, it was empowering for a lot of young black kids. Now, I'm going to go through some of the things that people are saying, and some are going to be complimentary and some are going to be not complimentary. And I'm not even going to take a side on this. I personally think that he moved on into a kind of a grift mode for a long time, but he's not Al Sharpton. He's not, he's a little bit different. The civil rights leader who marched with Martin Luther King at Selma and stood by him at the Lorraine Motel in 1968, died Tuesday after battling progressive supranuclear palsy. Jackson founded Operation Push and the Rainbow Push Coalition to advance black economic empowerment, voting rights, and global human rights, and ran for the Democratic presidential nomination in 1984 and 1988, securing millions of votes. Survived by his wife Jacqueline and children, including Representative Jesse Jackson Jr., his family asked people to honor him by continuing his fight for justice and equality. Tributes poured in from figures like CNN's Abby Phillips, who called him a civil rights hero and political pioneer, which he was. The interesting thing in here, he went from, though, to me, someone who was out to empower people who maybe felt like they never had any power, to a Democrat shill. And that's where the problem I have with Jesse Jackson. He became whatever the Democrats wanted him to be, and kind of, the empowerment part where he's out, helping people become more, just feel better about being themselves, kind of went away. And so that's where my only criticism with him. As I scroll through here, rapid response, Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump was a friend of Jesse Jackson's, and it actually gave him office space during his 1984 campaign. Let's see what Trump said about Reverend Jesse Jackson. The Reverend Jesse Jackson is dead at 84. I knew him well long before becoming president. He was a good man with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts. He was very gregarious, someone who truly loved people, despite the fact that I am falsely and consistently called racist by the scoundrels and lunatics on the radical left. This is so much a Trump way to do it. Sorry. That's funny. It was always my pleasure to help Jesse along the way. I provided office space for him and his Rainbow Coalition for years at the Trump building, at 40 Wall Street, responding to his request for help getting criminal justice reform passed and signed when no other president would even try. Single-handedly pushed and passed long-term funding for historically black colleges and universities, which Jesse loved, but also which other presidents would not do. Responded to Jesse's support for opportunity zones, the single most successful economic development package yet approved for black businesses, men and women, and much more. Jesse was a force of nature like few others before him. He had much to do with the election without acknowledgement or credit of Barack Hussein Obama, a man who Jesse could not stand. He loved his family greatly, and to them I send my deepest sympathies and condolences. Jesse will be missed. So that is, if that is not a typical Trump eulogy, I don't know what else is. Good morning, Resolute German. Were you here earlier? I didn't. You just got here. Okay. I was like, I know you saw you somewhere in X. Anyway, Ben Phillips, I don't know who needs to hear this. Jesse Jackson leading kids on Sesame Street in this beautiful call and response, reminding them that every child is somebody. So this is what I'm talking about. And I was a little too old for Sesame Street when this happened, but I remember seeing the clip of it.
Ready on the stump? Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I am somebody. I am somebody. I may be poor. But I am somebody. I may be young. But I am somebody. I may be on welfare. But I am somebody. I may be small. But I am somebody. I may make a mistake. But I am somebody. My clothes are different. My face is different. My hair is different. But I am somebody. I am black, brown, white. I speak a different language. But I must be respected, protected, never rejected. I am God's child. I am somebody. Give yourself a big hand.
So, back when I was a kid, during this era, it's a powerful message, man. That's a powerful message for kids. Just, to just empower yourself into saying, hey, you know what? I don't care what happens to me. I am somebody. The white and Asian kids are going, I am black. No, he went through several races. You heard the whole thing. Like, come on, Sound of the Nation. You heard it. Hello, Filio, best startup, by the way. Because, sometimes the world doesn't see you. So you get to say, I am somebody. And that was a powerful message. I respect that message. But again, I don't respect everything he did, but I think that was something that was important. Mamdani, today we mourn the passing of Resident Jesse Jackson, a giant of the civil rights movement who never stopped demanding that America live up to its promise. He marched, he ran, he organized, he preached justice without an apology. May we honor him, not just in words, but in struggle. Well, no, not in struggle. We should not, no. Anyway, but all the, let's see, NBC News, Kamala Harris, a lot of people are paying tribute to Jesse Jackson. And a lot of people are reposting Trump's tribute to Jesse Jackson. He and Jesse Jackson were friends. And even as fairly recently, they've remained friends despite their differences politically. So because he died, obviously Jesse Jackson is trending. Oh, good God, Amy Klobuchar. I'm so sick of my fucking senator right now. She's just glomming onto everything she can to get some relevance. And now she wants to be governor of Minnesota, and that just scares the shit out of me. But anyway, Reverend Jackson's trending. I am somebody. Again, that Sesame Street clip is back in the 70s, that's some powerful shit for kids who felt, that the later message of keep hope alive with this presidential campaign, that message was very strong in the early 70s. So keep hope alive, also trending. And then rest in power, people talking, that seems to be the black way to say rest in peace. Now, however, there's one tribute to the Reverend Jackson that has people scratching their heads. And of course, it's my favorite parody account on the internet. The 3-year Letterman. Yes, 3-year Letterman. Youth football coaching legend. Diehard Georgia fan. 3-year high school football Letterman. Show-stopping Little League umpire and region champion 3-way tie. The 3-year Letterman and his tribute to the Reverend Jesse Jackson is as follows. Reverend Jesse Jackson, the civil rights icon who was the 1984 Democratic presidential nominee and organized the Billion Man March, has passed away. He was 100 years old. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he put up a picture of Al Sharpton. And the best thing about 3-year Letterman is not necessarily the posts, but the replies. Shall we check the replies for? The first very one. And why is that a picture of Al Sharpton? 3-year Letterman answers, Reverend Jackson was not a meteorologist. Yeah, that's not Jesse Jackson. Yes, it is. You're thinking of Joshua Jackson of the Skulls fame. What's wrong with you? This is Al Sharpton, and Jesse died at 84. His answer, the only thing wrong with me is that I peaked in high school and haven't stopped peaking since. Coach, he was also the grandson of Andrew Jackson, the first president impeached because he helped Lincoln free the slaves. Some people jump in on the gag, too. Reverend, you're using that word very loosely. He was an ordained priest in the Catholic Church. He is finally with his son, Michael Jackson, in heaven. I should be laughing. I'm not making fun of Jesse Jackson. I don't make fun of people when they die. I'm making fun of this post. And here's another one. Rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. Rest in peace, Clutch Reformer. Oh my God. Oh my God, there's a bunch of them. Jackson's lead role in the Thomas Jefferson documentary will never be forgotten. Oh gosh. Anyway. Yeah. 3-year Letterman. He's awesome. He's home with OJ. Oh, good God. All right. Let's see. Let's continue here. Oh, Al Sharpton is trending too because of this. And I'm sure that it's because of the 3-year Letterman, because people, look at this. That is Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton said, my mentor, here's Al Sharpton's tribute to Reverend Jackson. My mentor, Reverend Jesse Jackson, has passed. I just prayed with his family by phone. He was a consequential and transformative leader who changed this nation and the world. He shaped public policy and changed laws. He kept the dream alive and taught young children from broken homes like me that we don't have broken spirits. Al, you're not that much younger than Siri. How old is Al Sharpton? Al Sharpton's 71. Jesse Jackson was 84. So he's 13 years older than. What do you mean he showed people from broken homes? Good God. Never mind. I'm not even going into that. Anyway. Now, see, here's some people who are not happy. Jesse Jackson dead, so what? He was a menace to society, a typical loudmouth that took money for his own benefit. I'm waiting to hear when Al Sharpton dies. Oh my God, that's not nice. That's not nice. Anyway, Al Sharpton, just because a lot of people link them during the grifting years. Let's just put it that way. All right. Also, I didn't know this either. Robert Duvall passed away 2 days ago, and I didn't even say anything about it. Robert Duvall, the great actor. Interesting note here, Robert Duvall refused to work with Steven Spielberg and DreamWorks again after Spielberg visited Fidel Castro in 2002, noting the hypocrisy of him making films like Schindler's List while visiting dictators. Rest in peace. Wow. Anyway, great actor. Probably best known for Lonesome Dove. That was a great movie. But he's just a prolific book of, he was in The Godfather. He's in all kinds of shit. He's a prolific actor. Apparently this movie, The Apostle with Billy Bob Thornton, is supposed to be really good. But anyway, rest in peace, Robert Duvall too. All right. Other trending things. Let's talk about Gavin Newsom real quick. This was hilarious. Everyone's talking about this, and I'm like, well, let's put it as a thumbnail. So Gavin Newsom went to the security conference over in Berlin, apparently, and he made some dumbass speeches and stuff, and people already kind of laughed at his foreign policy chops being as thin as, as thin as the book of great Democrat ideas. But, so Ted Cruz had said something on a podcast. So let's give you let me
be very clear, Senator.
Let me show you the clip from the podcast, and then we'll show you Gavin Newsom's reaction, and then we'll see the rest of the world blowing up on this. So here's Ted Cruz talking about Gavin Newsom at the Berlin security conference.
Let's be very clear, Senator. That is Gavin Newsom comparing American law enforcement to Nazis.
Yep. Which, by the way,
by the way, listen carefully.
Obama was doing too. By the way, just like AOC and Whitmer, Newsom is apparently thoroughly historically illiterate. He said we've never seen National Guards federalized in the states. I guess his history book does not discuss the civil rights movement. He's never heard of a president named Dwight D. Eisenhower. He's never heard of sending the National Guard into southern states when Democrats who refused to desegregate schools resisted. Eisenhower sent the National Guard in. The pattern is the same. In this instance, you have Democrats who are saying we refuse to comply with federal immigration law. Then you had, in the 50s and 60s, you had Democrats saying we refuse to comply with civil rights law. In both instances, it is lawless Democrats attacking law enforcement. Gavin Newsom is proudly following the tradition of Bull Connor, another Democrat politician.
All right, now, it's a strange comparison, but you get the point, okay? But key words in that little message there was, quote, historically illiterate. Good morning, Tom O'Leary and Darren Root and Judafine. Hi, good morning. Historically illiterate. So he posted this clip with a post that says, Gavin Newsom is historically illiterate. We break down his attacks on law enforcement on The Verdict, which is his podcast, Ted Cruz's podcast. To which Gavin Newsom replied, Ted Cruz calling a dyslexic person illiterate is a new low, even for him. He called him historically illiterate. First of all, I have a poll for this though too, because this is a very important question related to this post. And so let me start a poll here. Before the last 24 hours, had you ever heard that Gavin Newsom was dyslexic? Before the last 24 hours, had you ever, and I mean forever, heard that Gavin Newsom was dyslexic. First of all, if he is dyslexic, so fucking what? He's part of one of the richest families in California. He's the fucking governor. He's been the attorney general. He's been all kinds of things in California. Got shit tons of money. He's a part of some richy, wealthy, fucking hoity-toity family. It doesn't matter if he's dyslexic. It hasn't stopped him a bit. Also, who gives a fuck if he's dyslexic? Also, is he trying to, like, put on his disabled person hat to be more electable? What the actual fuck is he talking about? I'm sorry, I'm a little mad about this. But anyway, he's not dyslexic, he's retarded. So he's been getting just ripped to shreds, but Ted Cruz's response to this, what are those things? What's that called? Is that a French kiss? Chef's kiss? Mwah. Chef's kiss. Right here. This is it. The Gavin Newsom Center for Kids Who Don't Know What Historically Illiterate means and who want to learn to do other stuff good too. Let's just say that Gavin Newsom, all over the internet, people make fun of Gavin Newsom. In fact, let's pull up some Gavin Newsom stuff here. Let me pull up some Gavin Newsom stuff. I'll just scroll down because lots of people talk about Gavin Newsom. Let's see. I must have, well, shoot, I messed that up, didn't I? Okay, let's try this again. Here's one. I'll just scroll down. Here's one. Confirming yourself illiterate by falsely accusing someone else of calling you illiterate is some Michael Scott shit. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That would explain why the budget doesn't line up. He cannot read. Yeah, that's true too. Let me see if I can find another one. I'm just going to scroll. I'm not even going to post these. Where's here? No, more Gavin Newsom. There was a whole bunch of them earlier. What happened to all the Gavin Newsom posts? Maybe got beat into the ground by now. But anyway, here, let's just do this. We'll do this. Let's try Gavin Newsom. And we'll copy and paste that. I'm just dumbfounded by how dumb that shit was. I'm just saying. Let's see. There we go. Here, I'm gonna give you a whole page of Gavin Newsom is a moron post here. Here's some. Well, maybe. Shit. My internet's going slow. There we go. AOC, you can't find Venezuela on a map. Gavin Newsom doesn't know what historically illiterate means. These are your contenders for Democratic nominee in 2028. Here's one. Billy, this is Gavin Newsom. He's a millionaire member of the Getty family, one of the wealthiest families in America. He's also governor of California and likely the Democrat nominee for president in 2028. His biggest drawback, though, is that he's so illiterate that he doesn't know what historically illiterate means. Ding. Wait, the Gavin Newsom Learning Center. You know, it's also funny too, because he says that Ted Cruz calling a dyslexic person illiterate is a new low for him. This is the guy who slept with his best friend's wife and had to publicly apologize for it while he was in office and the mayor of San Francisco. Oh, talk about new lows. Good Lord. Anyway, let's see more here. This is one of the most brutal embarrassments of Democrat I've ever seen. Gavin Newsom looked like a pandering fool after getting... Oh, that's that when he got ripped to shreds by Adam Carolla. If you haven't seen that, here, I'm going to leave that in the links too. Adam Carolla had him on his podcast. Now he won't ever talk to Adam Carolla again because Adam Carolla just don't play it around at all. But I'm not going to play it today. Anyway, lots of people ripping on him. Ian Miller, between AOC not knowing Venezuela's north of the equator and Gavin Newsom not knowing the difference between illiterate and historically illiterate, this has been a real banner few days for the intellectual wing of the Democratic Party. Yes, it has. All right, I've talked enough about that. You can go through those yourself. Let's get on to other things. Oh, I already put that one there. There we go. Let's talk about some news that X thinks you need to know. The feature stories on X today. One is father kills ex-wife and daughter at Rhode Island hockey game, then dies by self-ending. That brings up the mood. Robert Dorgan, 56, shot. Am I even allowed to say this on YouTube? Pew-pewed and ended his ex-wife Rhonda and teenage daughter during a game at Dennis M. Lynch Arena in Pawtucket on Monday afternoon, then took his own life. 3 other family members remain in critical condition while a Good Samaritan helps subdue him quickly. No players were hurt. Oh, well, thank God no players were hurt. I mean, that's enough carnage. Surviving daughter told reporters her father had severe mental health issues. And wait, where did it go? Severe and court records reveal of family disputes, including a 2021 divorce. Officials call it targeted domestic incident, with the community now offering counseling to grieving hockey families. God. Anyway, Rhode Island trans shooter tweeted yesterday warning that you shouldn't point out that trans women are really men or they will go berserk. Okay, well, I'm not. Though we have incidents of trans people doing this shit, I can't say all trans people are violent. Because I was like arguing with some guy yesterday trying to make, well, all MAGA people are violent. And like, okay, give me some scenario where you say all MAGA people are violent. And I basically made him look like an idiot. But now, okay, Matt Walsh, we are now getting a trans mass shooting multiple times a month per capita. These are the most dangerous people on the planet. There's no question about it. Unstable, delusional, liable to lash out at any time. Trans ideology must be treated as the threat that clearly is. Again, I can't say all trans people are going to lash out in violence, but apparently the fact that they're beginning to lose some of this, the court cases and shit, this is insane though. It's official. Rhode Island officials have confirmed that the hockey shooter was a transgender man named Robert Dorgan, a trans-identifying man. Robert recently started going by Roberta. Leftists who encourage this trans BS has blood on their hands. Well, it's... I don't want to generalize on all people who do this, but obviously there's some violence indicated.
So what I can say right now that we have identified the person, the suspect, by a birth name. The birth name was Robert Dorgan. We have also learned that the person does go by the name of Roberta, also uses a last name of Esposito. But again, that will be all confirmed throughout the course of the investigation as to their status that really doesn't have anything to do with the investigation.
Yeah, the East Coast accent. Status in the investigation. Which, it's important, but is it the most important thing about it? The most important thing about it is this asshole murdered some of his family, and people are in critical condition still. Marry a guy, have kids with him. He has a midlife crisis and goes trans. You don't leave him because that would be transphobic. He kills you and your child. Okay, that's not going to happen every time, but it's just, Normally, a white male committing a mass public shooting at a hockey game in a working class town would be catnip to our media. They are strangely silent about this one. I don't know how silent they are, but there's been a wave of these shooters who do this shit. Rhode Island's also trending because it happened in Rhode Island. New York Post writes about it. Transgender father Robert Dorgan ID'd as RI hockey shooter who gunned down family as sick posts are revealed. Crazed gunman who killed 2 people and critically injured 3 others at a high school hockey game in Rhode Island on Monday has been identified as a transgender dad who railed against anti-trans hate in family legal disputes and deranged social media rants. Robert Dorgan, 56, who shot 4 family members and a family friend before he turned the gun on himself. Following a deadly rampage at a Pawtucket ice rink, used the female alias Roberta Esposito. Pawtucket Police Chief Tina Goncalves said during a press conference on Monday night, we've identified the person. The night before the suspect stormed the hockey tournament with a gun, he ominously replied, keep bashing us, but do not wonder why we go berserk, in response to an anti-trans X-post. Dorgan, the father of North Providence High School senior who was competing in the hockey tournament, reportedly underwent gender reassignment surgery in 2020, according to court filings obtained by local station WPRI. His transgender identity appeared to be a source of multiple family court battles in the years before Monday's targeted shooting, which cops said was the result of a domestic dispute. His ex-wife filed for divorce in 2020 on grounds of gender reassignment surgery, narcissistic and personality disorder traits, according to the court filing obtained by the local outlet. The reasoning was later replaced with irreconcilable differences, which have caused the immediate breakdown of the marriage, the outlet reported. So this is just sad. Fuck. It is just sad. It's not. It seems to be a sick trend. It kind of is. Yeah, it's a weird trend we're seeing more of. And is this going to be how others act out? I certainly fucking hope not. And then there's another article, front page, basically just recapping the New York Post article. So that's very sad. Also, a teacher was killed in a crash after a man flees ICE stop. Oscar Vasquez Lopez, a 38-year-old Guatemalan man with a 2024 deportation order, sped away from an ICE traffic stop near Savannah, Georgia, ran a red light and crashed into Davis's vehicle Monday evening. The special education teacher and Hesse K-8 school at Hesse K-8 school died in the hospital. Vasquez Lopez faces homicide and reckless driving charges after minor injuries. Her school principal called her a cherished family member, and counselors supported grieving students and staff amid divided views on immigration enforcement. Now, this is going to be one of those stories where some people in media and social media will say, ICE killed a teacher. No, ICE did not. Let me guess, they're blaming. Yeah, I'm sure they're blaming ICE. So look, the very first post under this, listen to this. Very first post under this story. ICE killed a teacher in Georgia today when they chose to chase a man who posed no danger and had no criminal history. He had a deportation order. He had a deportation order. Now this is, let's see, we'll open the link to the WTOC. Savannah teacher killed and crashed by man fleeing from ICE. So ICE did not kill this person. Then she continues, Lisa Davis was killed by ICE today. A black woman, a beloved teacher, killed by ICE. You know, bitch, you don't start using someone being black as your little tool for tear jerking. Okay? Stop. I hate it when they go, black and brown people. Well, what about black people? Black people here? Black people are Americans, lady. Shut the fuck up. Now, this one's more accurate. Linda Davis, a K-8 teacher in Savannah, Georgia, was killed in a car crash by a man fleeing ICE. Local authorities said they were unaware of any ICE operations in the area. We have a no chase policy, a county chairwoman said. What if he just ran off without them chasing him even? ICE killed a teacher, click-through article. The illegal alien fled and crashed into her. Utterly incapable of assigning responsibility to criminals ever. They're all talking. This Faith Jackson, whoever this is. Faith Jackson is what? Can't tweet fewer than 290 characters. Founder and CEO of Kiss by the Studio and a social media marketing design hive which develops, manages, and smart social media. Except you posted something really stupid. ICE didn't kill this person. The clown. Oh, yes, Sound Double Nation. That was beautiful, by the way. Insert dog zip it, bitch. GIF here. Yes. I'll have to show you that. That was a good one. By the way, if anyone else is clipping me, I'd like you to share it with me when you clip me, because I'd like to know what you're sharing, what you're clipping. Again, are you fucking kidding me? Again, I'm fucking livid at this point. The agency is out of control and something needs to be done. I'm tired of seeing more innocent lives taken by ICE. I've said this so many times, but fuck ICE. Honey, you may want to read the article. And for you dumb fucks who assumed I didn't read, I did. I'm well aware the immigrant crashed into the teacher. George is in no chase state. He was chased by ICE. Local police was unaware of ICE presence. This was at ICE. Oh, and then someone here says peaceful protests aren't doing enough. We genuinely need to band together and do some real action. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Yes and no, this ICE needs to go, but this post was misleading. It was the guy running from ICE that hit the teacher, not ICE agents. That being said, I don't know if this guy panicked because he figured ICE would kill him or what. The whole situation is fucked. He had a fucking deportation order already signed. He's already been through due process. They're doing their job and he ran. It's amazing. Say your name, Linda. Now see, and then the people on the right are saying, yeah, the guy who ran killed her. Lives in TikTok. Say your name, Linda Davis. Linda Davis, a teacher, was killed after Oscar Vasquez Lopez, an illegal from Guatemala, reportedly fled ICE agents and struck her with his car. Democrats allowed this to happen. Their open border policies and demonization of ICE put American life at risk. Everybody's using everything for agenda-wise, but Jesus, God, it's just frustrating as hell. So there's the article by WTOC, which they accurately report it wasn't ICE that killed him. Okay. Security footage from Hesse below shows a moment of that chase. Wait, from Hesse? Wait, how could security... What? Does it look like they chased him? There's nobody chasing him. There's nobody chasing him. Oh, there they are. There, I guess they are from far away. Wow. So anyway, there you go. All right, moving on. How much time do I got? I got time. Strait of Hormuz is trending. Apparently, Iran has decided to do military exercises in the Strait of Hormuz. And people are concerned that it would close the Strait of Hormuz, which would cause worldwide issues from a commerce standpoint. From the battlefield to your grocery bill, the hidden cost of war. Someone named Ronald Kelly, who's I'm sure is just... this is actually an American First guy saying this. A war with Iran wouldn't be clean or quick. It could close the Strait of Hormuz, spike oil prices overnight, rattle global markets, trigger cyber attacks, and pull in regional powers. American troops would be in missile range immediately. Our economy would feel it at the gas pump and grocery store. Inflation would surge. Veterans would multiply. Before anyone cheers escalation, remember, war spreads faster than control. History proves that. So, now, this person says China will eat Iran alive if it shuts down the Strait of Hormuz. These threats are hilarious. Where is this replying to here? I'm just going to scroll through this. It doesn't actually say. See, yeah, because China depends on the Strait of Hormuz just as much as the rest of the world. U.S.-Iran tensions has escalated further today. Currently, second round of talks are underway in Geneva. During the talks, Iran has fired missiles into the Strait of Hormuz. Iran Supreme Leader Khamenei warned Trump's strongest army in the world may get struck so hard that it cannot get up again. So they've been doing they've been conducting military drills in the Strait of Hormuz, which is described as one of the world's most critical oil choke points. And the United States up to 18 F-35 fighters from RAF bases in England with KC-135 tankers refueling in midair. 1/3 of the U.S. Navy is now deployed around Iran. So, that escalation could be a problem. There's a lot of information on that. Stephen Colbert is trending, not because of Stephen Colbert himself, but James Tallarico, who is I guess he's a Senate primary candidate for the Democratic nominee for the Senate from Texas. And I find a little bit of humor in this because he's been running for a long time and already Jasmine Crockett is leading him there. But he posted this thing about, this is the interview Donald Trump didn't want you to see. His FCC refused to air my interview with Stephen Colbert, to which even Stephen Colbert said, who? Trump is worried we're about to flip Texas. Now, the usual suspects posting it repeating this. Brian Krasenstein, the uglier of the twin Krasenstein brothers, breaking. CBS refused to air this Colbert interview with Democrat James Tallarico, who is running for the Senate in Texas after being intimidated by Trump's FCC rules. Trump is worried that Democrats are about to flip Texas. Share everywhere. So they ended up, I guess, posting on YouTube or some shit. There's a little problem here, though. This has nothing to do with Trump or anyone worried about Tallarico flipping Texas. And the problem is equal time laws for broadcast networks are real. Colbert needs to move his Democratic Party pep rally to YouTube. He'll be big over there. CBS should return to late night to a comedy format. The problem is that CBS was not going to have any equal time guest to someone running for the Senate. And that's why CBS said, well, we can't show this unless everybody that wants to be on the show for this purpose, they pulled the interview themselves. Let's just put it that way. So they're lying. They're lying. But he's trying to make himself more important than he is. Like, how many of you knew the name James Tallarico running for Senate in Texas? That he's so important he's on Colbert. Holy shit. Probably nobody. Anyway, also, and here it is. And here's someone saying that. This is a blatant lie by James Tallarico. The FCC didn't refuse to air his conversation with Stephen Colbert. It was CBS who didn't air it because they will not give equal time to his political opponents in the lead up to the Texas primary, aka there's 4 people running for that Senate seat nomination in Texas, and they weren't given equal time to the rest of them. So they said, fuck it, we're not going to do it. Broadcast license should not be used to push political agenda of the host or of the show. So there you go. Who? James Tallarico. I have heard the name. And he's the one that Jasmine Crockett, was it Jasmine Crockett? No, one of the other candidates accused him of being racist. Colin, what's his face? Accused him of being racist because he said something about him running a mediocre campaign. And he was saying, it was at the same time he was praising Jasmine Crockett, but Colin, is it Colin? What the hell's his name? Anyway, he's a black man who's also running for that nomination. And he said he was running a mediocre campaign. And just like this thing with Gavin Newsom, they said, oh, he said he was a mediocre black man. What? He never said anything of a sort. But because he's a Democrat, he had to do a groveling apology for even implying that this Colin what's-his-face would be a mediocre black man, because that's what Democrats do. They grovel. All right, and let's just do some headlines before we go. Lots of articles open, and there's lots in the aggregator, but I want to show you a few of them that caught my eye. Maryland sheriffs have vowed to defy Democrat Governor Westmore's ban on working with ICE. Some sheriffs in Maryland are saying, what do you mean not to work with ICE? Go to hell. We're going to do our job because we are going to support the Constitution of the United States of America. Some sheriffs in Maryland are vowing to continue working with ICE in defiance of their Democratic governor. Governor Westmore expected to sign a bill banning official agreements between local police and the federal agency, but the move may get some pushback, according to the Baltimore Sun. Yeah, it's going to get pushback because it's not even you can't force them to do that. That's insane. Anyway, that's a headline. You can read about it yourself. Daily Caller, lefty radicals have concocted a new strategy to let anti-ICE agitators get off free. They're pushing for jury nullification here in Minnesota. Minnesota activist group encouraging protests against immigration enforcement will host a training to teach attendees on how to let guilty criminals walk. The Defend the 612, which is the group, will instruct viewers of the February 23rd virtual jury nullification training on how to use false jury verdicts to fight unjust laws and political persecution. So they're training people how to break the law and then break the law to get people breaking the law off for breaking the law. You just got to read it. That's the day after my anniversary. I should watch that. I wonder if I could register for that. We will learn about jury nullification, or the people's pardon, and how it's been used, ways it can stem authoritarian overreach, and how we can use it today. Except you can also advance authoritarian overreach with jury nullification. You kind of might be just doing that. I hope they all fucking go to jail. Now, this one's interesting. A Border Patrol officer has been arrested for sheltering an illegal immigrant girlfriend who was also his niece. What? Wait. I didn't read the end of the headline the first time I picked this up. U.S. Customs and Border Protection Supervisor Andres Wilkinson of Laredo, Texas, has been arrested for aiding his illegal immigrant girlfriend by failing to report her to immigration authorities in order to shield her from deportation. According to a criminal complaint, Wilkinson used his position to unlawfully aid the woman who officials believe is also his niece when traveling with her through Border Patrol checkpoints near the southern border. What? What? The CBP Office of Professional Responsibility secretly investigated Wilkinson for months after observing him with the woman and her daughter. That sounds like a really bad, never mind. The complaint revealed that he was aware of her illegal immigrant status, but maintained a romantic relationship with her, providing financial support, housing, credit cards, and access to his vehicle. Further complicating the case, the woman is believed to be Wilkinson's niece. Investigators determined she was the daughter of a man Wilkinson listed as his brother in 2020 in a 2023 background check. She had overstayed a temporary visa signed in August 2023 and has been living with Wilkinson since 2024. Okay, maybe it's like a brother, like through adoption or whatever. We don't need to, I don't want to see that. And that family tree is twisted, dude. Yeah, it is. Did I see Simon here? I know I saw Dom O'Leary. I thought I saw Simon here too. Hello, Lord Stanhope. Also, Tom Homan says a small force to remain in Minnesota after ending ICE surge. So, you know how they're saying that, ICE is going to leave Minnesota and they're going to be gone or whatever. Well, they're not going to be gone. There's always that office of ICE agents that already are working here in Minnesota. But Borders Czar Tom Homan confirmed that the Trump administration will keep a small force in Minnesota after ending the ICE surge. Hillman told Ed O'Keefe that on Face the Nation. So I'm not surprised. They can't draw down entirely. There's still going to be investigators doing their job. Daily Wire, local police agreements with ICE have surged 950% in the first year of Trump's second term. So like those Maryland sheriffs, there's a lot of more law enforcement agencies who have agreed to cooperate with ICE. Agreements between local law enforcement agencies and Immigration and Customs Enforcement have surged 950% in Donald Trump's first year in office, according to a new report by the advocacy organization FWD-US. Under the Biden administration, there were 135 such agreements. Now there are 1,168 as of January 26, according to the report. So, and that's mostly just agreements. If you catch somebody that is not here legally, that you'll cooperate with us and hand them over in a very controlled manner rather than us having to chase them down the street and they kill a teacher in Georgia. That's basically what it is. New York Post, Biden's quiet amnesty for nearly 1 million illegal immigrants. Yeah, this they found out. Not only did he allow 6 to 10 million illegal aliens to walk across the border during his term, he also granted a quiet amnesty to nearly 1 million. We're only learning this now as the Department of Justice revealed Biden's officials improperly terminated or dismissed or closed that many cases before the nation's immigration tribunals. The tools for this deception was the DOJ's Executive Office for Immigration Review, EOIR, pronounced like Winnie the Pooh, EOR, which oversees deportation cases. Under the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, the Biden administration used EOR to manipulate removal hearings, tanking pending cases in the name of prosecutorial discretion. So they basically granted amnesty to a bunch of people for no apparent reason, just because they said so. And that was probably going to be the case for millions and millions and more had he not got, so unceremoniously removed from the Democratic ticket. Interesting. Front page has an article, federal judge. Oh, this is great. A federal judge rules that George Washington's home must call him a racist because of harm and anxiety. A federal judge is ruling what the federal government must put in historical placards or whatever. 77-year-old Cynthia Roof, who's a judge somewhere, who begins her ruling with a quote from George Orwell's 1984, good move for an outraged freshman compositions, usually indicative of a mental breakdown among federal judges. Roof then compares Trump to Big Brother for trying to take down the hateful DEI racist rants plastered across museums, including, in this case, George Washington's home, when the Orwellians were the ones trying to brainwash people with those rants. Quote, this court is now asked to determine whether the federal government has the power it claims to dissemble and disassemble historical truths when it has some domain over historical facts. It does not, this judge says. So the judge can decide what's written in historical monuments and shit. The federal government has the power to decide what goes in the museums it controls. Roof has no objection to Obama and Biden doing it, which means her basis for objecting to Trump doing it is pure partisan politics. Nor is there any legal basis for her objections or her ruling. Quote, the president's house is a component of Independence National Historical Park that commemorates the site of the first official presidential residence and the people who lived there, including people enslaved by President George Washington. On January 22nd, 2026, the National Park Service removed panels, displays, and video exhibits that reference slavery and information about the individual enslaved at the president's house. According to her Democratic allies, Judge Roof argues that members of the Democratic caucus in the Senate of Pennsylvania warn of irreparable harm to their constituents because this sudden loss of rich history and defendants' rejection of the true historical narratives about Black history in America is causing a deep constituent harm and anxiety. I don't know about the anxiety. So the National Park Service isn't allowed to change the contents of exhibits because of irreparable harm and anxiety. Now, I think it's dumb personally, to take down those historical contexts unless they're just written in a way to be shitty. But, but whether or not I think they should be taken down or not, I don't think that is under the purview of a judge. That's not under the purview of a judge. That's just weird. Anyway, Breitbart headlines: Spike Lee wears pro-Palestinian outfit to the NBA All-Star game with an Israeli-born player competing. So the question is, did he wear this specifically because there's an Israeli-born player playing? He wore this. I mean, first of all, this outfit is ridiculous. I don't want to put the music on. This outfit is ridiculous. By the way, this pattern, the keffiyeh pattern here, that's not even Palestinian, even though they wear it. That's an Iraqi pattern that is, what's it called? It's, I can't remember what it's called, but that pattern that they put on the keffiyeh, that's fishing nets from Iran. Yes, or not Iran, Iraq. Is it Iran or Iraq? I think it's Iraq. I can't remember, one of the two. But it has nothing to do with the Palestinians. But the only reason they have it is because Yasser Arafat started wearing that shit, and so now they think that's a Palestinian thing. It has nothing to do with Palestinians. It's embarrassing. So he's a dumbass. Let's see. Trump is warning kidnappers of Nancy Guthrie. The death penalty awaits if she's not returned alive. I guess he's not playing around. So they're still trying to search for her. Also in Breitbart, Nolte, stupid California law means 40% of oil imported from the Bahamas. Yeah, California has these refineries that are closing, and there's not that many pipelines. And there's a thing called the Jones Act. California is experiencing sky-high energy prices because Democrat policies mean that 40% of the state's gasoline comes from the Bahamas. You just go figure. Refined gasoline is being shipped out of the United States thousands of miles to the Bahamas, and then it is shipped from the Bahamas to California. Shipments on the circuitous route are increasing. California importing more gasoline in November than ever before, with more than 40% coming from the Bahamas. And that's why gasoline is so expensive in California. There's a whole article on it. You can read it yourself. I am going to dispense with reading the other headlines, but there's tons of good stuff in the aggregator and also stuff that I haven't even got to that I have open. I hope you have enjoyed the show, but unfortunately, it's that time. So, y'all, thanks for joining me today again. I sometimes I just ramble, and sometimes I have things planned out, and today was just a fun day because there's so much stuff that I wanted to get to that I just didn't. But I will be at this again tomorrow like I am every day, every Monday through Friday, that is, because I don't work on the weekends for anybody except for Lady Boomer. So, thank you. Here come the links in the chat from today's show. I'll also have them in the description. Oops, LINKS. INKS. Everything we did, everything that I didn't get to is in that link, and you can find it there, and that's it. I got to go. Thank you so much for being here. My name is PDawgKnight. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.